Daniel, why don't you tell us about this thing?
14 F-150 3.5 liter V6 with the Ford Racing Control Pack. Nothing crazy done to it really as far as the engine itself. It's pretty much a standard F-150 3.5. Got a Mishimoto intercooler, it's got AEM V2 meth injection, general chassis modification as well. Some basic suspension stuff, Brembos, stuff like that.
And which transmission did you go with?
Oh, it's the MT82 from the 3.7.
Alright, so I just hit the stock crate calibration and holy crap, made 373 horsepower and over 400 foot-pounds of torque. Now, obviously this is because it's a manual transmission and it doesn't have the driveline loss of the stock F-150 and the torque converter and whatnot. But geez, man, that's some freaking incredible power. So far I'm thinking I might not actually be able to give this thing the full normal tune that we produce for the F-150s because it might actually be too much power. So the good thing is that he does have meth injection, so that's going to help out a lot. But overall we're looking at a super clean torque curve. I pulled it in 5th gear, that's the 1-to-1 ratio, and oh man, the torque curve is just flat, flat, flat. Horsepower looks great. The peak boost was only 14, and then it tapered down to 12, back up to 13, and then dropped off pretty heavily at the higher RPM. There's a lot of power to gain on this thing. Now I wanted to flash it with an F-150 calibration, but unfortunately that resulted in a no start, no crank, key on really did nothing. So I'm going back to the crate calibration, and that's what I'm gonna have to use as my baseline to create the tune. So I'm doing that now, and we'll see how that goes. Should be cranking out some sweet power, almost too much, so we'll have to be careful with that, see what we end up with. Just got done with our MPT tune on this 3.5 swapped Mustang with a manual transmission, and holy fuck balls. This thing put down 435 horsepower and 530 foot-pounds of torque. And the only reason that's not even higher is because we're intentionally limiting the power, because like as we saw with the stock, you know, to put down 373 horsepower stock, it means that this thing's probably more than capable of putting out too much horsepower. And being a manual transmission, there's going to be some times where the driver's in control and really has the ability to put the vehicle in high load, low RPM conditions that we already know that the Ecoboost really doesn't like. So what I did is I focused a lot of attention on limiting some of that peak horsepower, actually peak torque, in the lower RPM ranges. Drop the boost down a little bit more, and again, this thing is fully capable in how it sits right now of making probably another 50 horsepower very easily. But we're gonna go ahead and keep it on the conservative side, make sure this guy can enjoy his car for a long time. Yeah, he has plans to road race it, so it's gonna be, you know, long operating times, high temperatures. So we definitely wanna go on the side of safety rather than trying to be some dyno queen and making the biggest horsepower possible and, you know, stating, wow, we're the highest horsepower, fastest car, period. Overall, super happy with this thing. As you can see, it looks great, drives great. We're gonna hit the road a little bit and see how the owner thinks of his new tune. So definitely let me know how the throttle feels.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's a lot more sensitive than it was before.
Yeah, but still it should be fairly linear.
Yeah, I'm just not used to how quick it is.
You see what I mean though by how it doesn't feel like so stiff?
Yeah. Should I just start off kind of slow, or does it matter?
It's your car, man.
Oh god! That's a difference.
Holy crap.
My speedometer's off and it showed 100, so...
That was amazing. I like that you kept cats on it.
Yeah. I wanted to keep it legal-ish.
Yeah, and it obviously performed great.
Exactly.
There was no, take it right here, there's no restriction on power.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel good about the planet.
Exactly.
So immediate now. The base tuning eventually was impossible to launch, and now it's way more. It wants to spin a lot more than it did before, so I don't know.
How'd it feel?
Pretty amazing. It was crazy. Night and day difference. It was great. It's enough power for a while now. I think I'll be satisfied for quite a long time.
There were some scary moments right there.
Yeah.
So we had some pretty terrible news recently. Can't tell if we lifted the heads or if a hose popped off. The plans have changed.